Hello, everyone. It's Anna, back with the Annadelna podcast. I've got my husband, Creature. I've got Tony the Penguino. Tony, show us your meme.
Show me my what?
I'm sorry. How are you doing, Tony? Would you like to give an introduction?
Oh, hello. My name is Tony the Penguino. I'm just a guy. That is pretty much it, man. I'm not gonna go in too deep into what I do or the things that I am a fan of because I feel like I'm just a guy. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, that's the exact what we're doing here, so sorry, but you're wrong.
Rah!
Okay.
And how do you vibe?
How do I vibe? I vibe like crazy. It's nuts. You wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
understand.
Like, would you say
Absolutely.
colossal nuts or wrap around yourself with like a toga nuts?
Okay.
I feel like the toga nuts is a pretty apt comparison to the way I vibe, just
Okay.
because it's ridiculous, almost comical.
Okay, all right, all
Of
right.
course, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you ready for the first question?
Oh, of course. I've been ready for like 3 years.
All right. So we know that you're Tony the Pinguino. Um,
Okay.
what are your preferred pronouns?
He/him.
Okay,
Yeah, so the
that's
pronouns
understandable.
pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward, I think, at least. I hope I sound like a he/him because the online presence doesn't really give that. Um, you kind of have to be specific now, and so I hope it just gives off he/him vibes.
You do what you can with what you have. All right.
Exactly.
Why did you start streaming?
Why did I start streaming? Okay, so I probably started streaming back in 2020. So about 5 years ago. It was like peak COVID times. I was coming off of high school, right? And so it's like, this whole COVID stuff kind of sucks. I should do something that's entertaining since I can't leave the damn house. And so I started streaming just to vibe, just to hang out with people because not being able to do anything for about a year and a half before the regulations were lifted, like really sucked. So that was mostly the inspiration for it. Obviously, I started with the Friday Night Funkin' scene. I'm not sure if anybody really knows that, but it was a game that I had a lot of fun with, and it slowly devolved into a bunch of weird shit. So I stopped playing it. It's mostly why I started.
Like the community devolved into weird shit, or the
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, the community. Okay, so a large part of the Friday Night Funkin' scene was ruined because the game is geared towards that weird gray area of it's in a cartoon style, so it attracts children, but it's also vulgar, so it attracts adults to stream it. And you mix that stuff together, and I'm pretty sure you can get to where the issue arised. So I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna be a part of this community. It's kind of gross.
Are you
Absolutely fair.
aware of the I think it's the Sky situation?
Sky.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so Sky is an OC of a really popular Friday Night Funkin'
Mm.
person, and
Yes, I
then
am
they
aware of the
didn't
Sky
want.
situation, actually.
Yeah,
Would you like to finish that thought
Uh,
for the viewers?
I mean,
People
if
that aren't
Tony
aware?
knows it and wants to tell the
Yeah, Tony, why
story.
don't you tell us about Sky, what you know about it?
okay, so I don't know the full story, but from what I understood, the Sky character OC was meant to be a child, and it was
Hmm.
very sexualized by the community
Hmm.
Hmm.
because it is girl with booba, and that is something that one it goes back to the perception of the game, like cartoon style but vulgar. It's like, oh yeah, the main character's entire fucking plot is to have sex. So when you include a child character into that realm, there it's very quickly people don't go asking questions. Oh, how old is this character, this OC meant to be? It's just kind of like, hey, let's draw porn of it because that's what the entire game has, lended itself to. And so that was a situation that had happened on numerous occasions. It isn't just Sky. There are so many characters that you look into with that community. It's like, hey, this is a character made by a 12-year-old kid who wanted to represent themselves, and all of a sudden they're being victimized online by weirdos. And it's like, yeesh! What a community! What a way to start a community.
Yeah.
The reason why the Sky situation stands out among the fact that this situation that happened to Sky happened to a bunch of different people is because of the fact that people consider Sky to be a minor lol cow within the FNF community,
Mm.
because the whole
Okay.
reason the Sky situation happened was because they made this character, which was effectively just girlfriend with blue hair and like a small adjustment. And then on every single platform they existed on, said, do not steal this character. I do not want them in anything else. I do not want mods made with them or anything. So then people went, all right, we're going to do that. And then they had like mental breakdown after mental breakdown. And it was,
Oh, jeez.
And I think the creator was only like 12.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically the creator, but they want the character Sky to be 12, so the art was like an attack against them.
Yeah, they wanted the character to
Yes.
be somewhat of a superimposed version of themselves.
Yeah, it
And
says
it,
that she was 13.
yeah. And it gets a bit weird because also she was like, yeah, she's obsessed with a boyfriend, so she's constantly trying to follow
Mhm.
him, kind of like an Amy Rose situation.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, the whole situation was kind of weird to me, and I'm really disappointed in how the community handled it.
Right. No, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely why that community doesn't exist anymore. I mean, you go onto any, obviously in the kids realm, it still exists. You get the shitty little like YouTube videos of like, oh, me versus Friday Night Funkin' at 5 a.m., like all the bullshit. But
Yeah.
like the mainstream, I'm gonna create actual content around the game doesn't exist anymore because of that type of stuff.
So Anna got into Friday Night Funkin' when it was like in the building stages of it and listened to a
Mm,
lot of the original stuff. And I was like, ew, no, I don't care about this. I'm a true rhythm game fan. I'm only into
mm,
Elite Beat Agents. And
mm.
then she started showing me the modded stuff after the game came out, so it was just remixes of the original songs. And then Tricky came out, and
Mm.
suddenly it was in both of our playlists, and we would show each other different ones. There was
Yeah.
the Ultra Instinct Shaggy one where they made enough songs for
Yeah.
like an hour, and
Mm-hmm.
then there were the creepy Pokemon creepypasta ones.
Yeah,
There,
there
There
was
there were
so
a
many
lot.
mods.
yeah,
There that game the open source aspect of that game is very much what started to create a good community. I think they had a good idea, but then you give that type of, a, that type of power to online weirdos and like it's just so
Yeah.
unfortunate because the game is genuinely fun. Like every once in a while, I'll get the itch to just be like, "Hey, I might stream this like just for a little bit. Just stream some of the good mods, have a little fun little time." And I'll still get like some people in who are like, "Hey, man, why'd you stop doing Friday Night Funkin'?" It's like I wish you could understand how sad that game makes me feel just because of the community.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we've had two podcasts of interviews, and both of them go, "Oh yeah, I started streaming X game, but I stopped streaming X game because the community made me feel bad." For Sacreds, it was Balloon's Tower Defense.
Balloons, yep, I
Yeah.
recall.
Yeah. All right, so we have the Tony the Pinguino origin story of started out because you
Yep.
were bored during COVID and you
Oh
started out
yeah.
with FNF.
hmm
So why do you continue to stream now?
Well, that's a mixed bag because I don't really stream much anymore. I so the content that I like to create is very very unscripted, and so I think streaming lends itself to that. So if anybody's seen any of the stuff that I do, it's not, there's no schedule, there's no plan. It's kind of just throw something on the wall and hope that it sticks, and I appreciate that because it's low effort. I'm a very loose cannon when it comes to streaming, but it's something that I enjoy the community aspect of it. A lot of the times that I do stream, it's because I'm bored and I just want to talk to people. So I feel like that's the foundation of why I still do stream, at least on the instances where I do it, because like I said, it's a once in a month occurrence now.
Hmm.
So you only, oh God. Um, so you stream mainly just to like have people to talk to while you're playing games if you feel like having people to talk to while you play games?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, because I'll be the first to say it. I play video games, but I'm not a gamer. So I'm not like the most in tune to the latest video games. I'm not the best at any one game. But when I do stream, it's like, hey, I do want to just have a communication, have an open dialogue. And sometimes that devolves into some really bad stuff just because of the type of communications that I have. I'm kind of just like a loud as funny, just say whatever because who cares type of thing, and that doesn't lend itself to the best conversations, but it's still something that I enjoy, just having the vessel to talk, you know.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Do you have your own like Discord server?
I do. The vibe zone is what I call it. It is just where the most loyal of Tony the Penguino fans who expect the once a month stream go to and just vibe. It's still surprisingly active, even though I don't really post into it as much as I should. But they're good guys in there, cool people.
So you don't feel like you're building a community, like you don't feel like you're the person laying down foundation and building the community. Would you like, if you had the energy, would you want to build a more community focused thing, or are you happy with the kind of like detached thing you have right now of there is a group of people that can expect you but they don't necessarily like depend on you? I hope that makes
Right.
sense.
So, yeah, I completely understand the question. It is a very it's a hard topic for me to wrap my head around because on the one hand, I do enjoy streaming and I do enjoy the community aspect, but my brain is so numbers pilled that a lot of the times I can't necessarily enjoy it. So I'll like have anxiety about streaming sometimes where it's very difficult for me to just go live because I'm like, oh well, this stream I had X amount of viewers. What if it doesn't have that much? What if that is something that isn't achievable anymore? And I'll get into my own head. So when it comes to creating a community, I would love nothing more than to just have a bunch of people who will just come watch my stream consistently, have a consistent line of dialogue throughout my streams. But obviously, being a small creator who's inconsistent, that's very unattainable. So it's just a thing where I need to get out of my own head. But if I were able to do so, then creating a community is something I'm very interested in. It's not a matter of do I want to, it's just like the getting out of my own head, you know?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite aspects of streaming are just having the people to talk to. What are some things that what you dislike about streaming? The anxiety of it. Man, this list of questions that I have isn't perfect, and that makes me sad.
Yeah,
Um,
3 and
No,
4
it's
are
good.
kind
They're
of the
good
same
questions.
question.
3 and 4. Why did you start streaming, and why do you stream? Yeah, those are entirely different questions. Like they
When
can indeed be the same question of if someone, whatever. All right.
we do
No,
love
those
the
are two
Tony.
different questions. I agree because it's one of those things where starting streaming doesn't necessarily equate to being the same reason you stream today. Like I started streaming 5 years ago now.
The
So
world is against
obviously
me.
things are going to change in those times where it's like, hey, you're not going to be in it for the same reasons you start up. So those are two different questions. Those are good.
Fair enough.
All right. Why do you have slash use the art that you use, both your Fugi, your main form of art, and any like banners or your Discord stuff? Like, why do you have the art you do? Why do you like it?
So a lot of the art that I have was done by my original viewer, and I say my original viewer because they were the first people to like give me the light of day as a content creator to just be expecting something every day. Because a contrast to how it is today, I used to stream every single day 4 or 5 hours a day. And the first person who really caught on was a guy named Neo. And he hasn't tuned in about 3 years, but he was like, hey, I like your branding, I like the name of your channel and everything, but the shit you have on right now sucks. And I was like, yeah, that's fair, because it was something I made on like Krita for like in 2 minutes. So he went ahead and gave me like everything. He gave me the Penguino coins, he gave me the avatar that I use now, the backgrounds that I use for all of my streaming and YouTube stuff. Like it has just been his stuff since like for years now. So that's where everything originates from, and I kind of keep it that the same stuff. I haven't really changed off of it just because I feel like it's a good image. I feel like there's not really much I would change about it. I think it's also just homage to that guy because he was a cool guy. I know the reasons why he left the community were just like he had to go like to some type of school, some religious school, and they wouldn't let him get on, and so like it kind of weeded him out of the rotation of viewers, and he just never really came back. But I still appreciate him for what he was able to do for me in terms of making all the art and stuff.
That's very fair and a very emotionally evocative answer. And, it's really good that you have this deep connection to your art. Anyway, the next question. What would you change about your art if you, like, had the, like, want to do it?
In terms of changing stuff, like I said in the last one, it's not really much of a matter of me seeing anything wrong with it. I I can appreciate having like the Fugi and all the little things that I could do with this channel art, but I'm not like into the VTuber stuff. I'm not into the 3D model stuff, so I'm not really going to use anything for that in that aspect. Yeah, no, I wouldn't really change much. I like the creation that this guy made. I feel like it's still stuck true to my little character so far.
When I heard about Tony the Pinguino from my wife, and then I saw your art, I was like, oh yeah, the art existed before the name, definitely. And learning that it didn't. So like, what did you use before this? Was it just like a quote unquote worse piece of art, or was it just nothing?
It was just like, so the original concept art of this fucking little penguino fucker it was the same little guy. Like generally, it was a little bit less polished. It was like I said, I whipped it up in 2 minutes, and it was the same like um character profile type of angle, except like the only difference is he didn't have the shades. It was kind of just like some fucking beady little bug eyes, and on his like right, or I guess it'd be his left shoulder, it had like the I Heart Mom tattoo from SpongeBob, and that was about it. That was the only differentiators. And this guy's like, hey, this art kind of sucks. Let me fucking fix it. All right, sweet, thank you.
And that's pretty sick. All
Fair and
right.
valid.
Yeah. The origin stories, dude. I'm never gonna drop that art, by the way. It was so ass. It was garbage. If anybody
No,
even
no.
recalls seeing that, you don't.
All right, so we just got to go back in your
Yeah, don't
streams
you
to-
worry. We'll find it. It'll be in the
Alright.
thumbnail. It'll be great.
All right.
So you're not a gamer, as you've said, but you like to play games on your stream. What games do you like to stream? And like what genre of game and blah 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 blah.
Okay, so the genre of games that I like to stream and the genre of games that I do stream are very different. So I am a first-person shooter guy. I have always been that way. Growing up, I played the Call of Duties, I played Battlefield, I played Halo, I played everything under the sun that a 12-year-old who screams on the PlayStation and Xbox. And so the games that I would like to stream are like Rainbow Six Siege or like fucking Call of Duty Warzone or not Fortnite because Fortnite kind of sucks, but you know what I mean. Like the shooter games are the preferred things, but what I do stream are a lot of roguelikes. So I play some Isaac every once in a while. We played Enter the Gungeon for a little bit. I played Hades. Just a bunch of roguelike games, very replayable games because I feel like those are the ones that give me the most bang for my buck in terms of streaming, where I can play this just over and over and I enjoy them enough to play them over and over. But yeah, they're two different aspects of it. I'd like to stream more shooter games, but I also don't have the capacity to stream them and also read chat and pay attention to my community. I kind of just lock in. So it's not conducive to good streaming content for me, I don't think.
Makes sense. Um. Okay.
There was also that time that you were like obsessed with playing Mario.
Oh yeah, the Mario 64 arc was an arc indeed. I still enjoy playing it, but I am frustratingly ass at it. Like I got the one PB run where I had like a 21 something, and I was like, yeah, this is peak. I'm not topping it. So
Did you submit it to speedrun.com?
it wasn't even top 10,000. So no.
Oh damn. Okay. Well, we do still
Yeah,
need
16
to.
stars nuts.
We do still need to play some of the modded games.
Yeah, like
We talked about
313 and stuff. Yeah. I should be open for 3 days out of the week now going forward because I had my days reduced. So I'm sure we can fit some time in for that.
Eek.
Eek.
I've been trying to think of how to word this question ever since you guys started this conversation, and it hurts that I haven't thought of how to do it.
You could just say it.
No, it's not that. It's I literally don't have the words to say it, and it upsets me.
Mm.
All right. Let me ask a different question and hope that buys me enough time. Have
Okay.
you ever streamed a game and like at some point playing it, you went, "Oh my god, this sucks." Like something just about it just feels off or something like that.
Um, Let me think about that because I don't really tend to stream that large of a variety of games. Um, Shit. I guess the the latter end of my Friday Night Funkin' streaming career, I would say, was very much forced. It wasn't much of a I am enjoying streaming this, more so as I've been streaming this for like 50, 60, 70 days in a row, and this is becoming very boring. And so that was an aspect of where I'm like, man, this stinks. Like I'm just playing this to play this. And so like I think the last time I streamed Friday Night Funkin' in like a large scale sense was just me starting the game, playing for 20 minutes, and going, hey guys, like I'm just gonna go. I'm not feeling it. And then I stopped playing the game entirely for like a year or two. But aside from that, like I said, I don't play a large variety of games on stream, so I can't really name you a single game. Oh wait, no, Lethal Company. Lethal Company. Lethal Company is so. I'm so sad. That game fed into all of the things I hate about indie games. It was so quick to feed into that because my gripe with indie games, and I talked about this the other day, is a lot of them seem very lazy. They seem very much, we're gonna use a concept that is very easy and like easy to stream, easy to create content for, and then we're not gonna change that formula at all. And instead of updating the game constantly and having more things to do, it's more like, yeah, we're just gonna leave the game still and work on something else that we can make a couple $100,000 off of by dropping for $5 on Steam that streamers will play. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I've been feeling like that for a while with a lot of indie
yeah.
games, and it's really sad. They lack
They,
soul.
yes, like there's like Lethal Company has a great concept, and I'm glad that Repo came out because it's kind of in the similar vein. But I'm fearful that with Repo that the same thing is going to happen. The streamers are going to play it, everyone's going to be like, this is a great game, they're going to all buy it, and then when no content comes out, they're going to learn like, yeah, the people who made the games are already making a different game because they already reaped the most that they're going to make from the game in the
Yeah.
first couple of weeks or months of it being out. I feel that way for what's that, what's the game called where you go into the ship and you go underneath and you have to record?
Content warning.
Content warning.
Content warning. I feel exactly the same for that game. That game fucking blows.
I haven't seen anything about it, any updates or anything.
Yeah, because they made their buck and now they don't want to update the game anymore because they realize their resources are best spent trying to recreate the magic with a different title than updating the one they have, because if they update it, that's not going to result in people buying the game. That just means that people are going to play the game more, and that doesn't equate to money in the wallet. So yeah, those kinds of games where it's the one-off streamer games that everybody plays for a week, I hate those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay. All right. So, you like first person shooters. Like you love first person shooters and you like
Yes.
roguelikes.
Mhm.
And you feel that roguelikes allow you enough mental space and the ability to look away from the game long enough that you can like interact with your chat and your community, and that makes you feel better about your streaming stuff.
Right.
The first person shooter, like in between matches when you can look at your chat and respond to stuff at that point in time, do you feel that that like lessens your chat's experience, or is it lessening your experience that you're not able to see them, or
I
both?
think so. I'll give you an example with a game that I've been playing for the last like 4 months, like nonstop. Rainbow Six Siege. It's a game where audio cues are very prevalent in the meta of the game. If you don't have good audio, you're not going to be good at the game. And the rounds are 3 to 4 minutes each with a prep phase and time in between rounds. Where I feel like even if I were doing my best to optimize reading chat, it's still not going to be enough. Because the thing I like about streaming is that it is like I said, very straightforward content. You turn the stream on, you talk to your chat, you play your games, whatever. But with games that require my full attention to even be competent in, like Siege, it is a thing where if I take those 3 minutes to lock in and then read the chat, who's to say the person's chat that I'm reading is even going to be there when I respond to the question at that point? You need to be very in on, or very cognizant of your chat and very aware that their time is very fickle. You're not going to have people waiting for a response for minutes on end, even seconds on end, it seems like, for when I used to stream games like that. But yeah, it's a diminishing return on people's time whenever I play those types of game, I feel. But I would do it if people had the attention span, though.
Fair. So there's a God. I didn't have to, but I looked up a lot of stuff about like viewer retention and general attention span of viewers and what it's like to try to go from one genre to another. Like for you right now, you are a rogue-like streamer. And so if you play
Right.
anything else, your viewers are gonna go, "This isn't what I signed up for. You're Tony the Pinguino. You're supposed to play blah blah blah, not blah blah blah."
Right.
I think that if you were to, oh God, I'm telling you what to do. I think that if you were to like play first-person shooters just nonstop, you would
Right.
eventually get the people who care about that kind of thing.
Right.
Do you
See,
feel that like the
okay.
time investment for that isn't worth it, or you don't think it would
Okay.
work?
So I'm gonna clue you in on how I view the content sphere right now,
Uh-huh.
and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. I feel like nonstop streaming any type of game 24/7, trying to cultivate an audience for it, is not enough right now. That is such a primitive way of creating a community. That is something that, like, who are the OG streamers that you can think of right now? Like Tyler One, or like other big name streamers who've done it for years. Something that they could have done because they were the people streaming. Now there are so many avenues to gauge content or to create content, and for people to have their attention pulled towards that, you just turning on a stream and playing a game for 8 hours, you might get 2 or 3 new viewers max in those 8 hours, and that is just not a worthwhile investment. So for me, yes, I could create those communities if I invested 3 years of my life and 8 hours a day into it. And obviously those numbers are a little bit skewed. That's just like pessimism speaking. You could definitely do it, but you need to do more than just turn on the stream and play the game nowadays, I feel. And I know this from my own experience creating like YouTube content. So when I was doing YouTube every single day, like, the viewership numbers were going up for like crazy. Like, it was 100, 200 people watching a video every day. I was getting like a couple thousand video views, or 1,000 view videos and stuff. It's like, yeah, okay, so this is an avenue to create content. But that was on top of me streaming, on top of me taking time to edit. It was too much of a burden, so I stopped. But I for somebody who has been streaming as long as I have been, like, I have like 600, 700 followers on Twitch, right? And that's nothing over the course of 5 years. So I can tell you from my experience that just turning on the stream and gaming, even if you're hardcore dedicated to a game, it just is not enough.
All right, are you ready for the guy who's never gotten on a boat to tell you how to fish?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So, when you bring up people like Tyler One and the big OGs and the big streamers, those people who can get like quadruple digit like viewers in their streams and stuff, those
Right.
people don't exist in the nicest way possible. They are like 0.001% of streamers.
Right.
And so the concept of those people ever losing their viewer base, something terrible has to happen for that to happen. So
Right.
what you guys are doing is streaming to fan bases of like 10 viewers. My understanding of this kind of thing comes from the fact that I look this stuff up because I'm mentally unwell.
Right.
like you have a YouTuber. Let's go with Preach Gaming because I was into World of Warcraft for a while. He
Right.
streamed and played and made edited videos about World of Warcraft for years. And then Warlords of Draenor came out, and it was so bad that he started branching into other content because he couldn't force himself to play the game anymore. And
Right.
if you were there at the time, he would put out a YouTube video of Warlords of Draenor where he clearly wasn't into it, so people would click it and it would get way more views because people click the video because it's Preach, he plays WoW, and then the
Right.
watch time would go down horribly because he's not into it, so the people who are there for
Right.
that kind of content just won't stick around. And then he'll
Right.
release a video of like I played Final Fantasy for the first time. This didn't happen, but I'm just giving an example because I don't remember
Right,
exactly
yeah,
what that
yeah,
was. And it'll get like half the clicks because his viewer base will see that video in their subscription feed and go, but I watch him for World of Warcraft. Why would I watch him for something else? And so
Right.
for him, it doesn't really affect him that much because he's going from like 100,000 views to like 70 or 60,000 views.
Right.
But the thing that you run into when your viewer base is smaller to the point where like your streams are getting 11 to 12 viewers,
Right.
you don't lose half of your viewer base because your net isn't nearly wide enough to catch people who would be interested in both of those things. The people that you're finding right now who are watching your videos, if you were, let's say, a Binding of Isaac focused channel and you're streaming on YouTube, these people are finding you by going onto the search bar, typing in Binding of Isaac, and clicking the button that lets them see live. So these people are hyper focused on Binding of Isaac. So if you were to stream Binding of Isaac for a while, build up an audience of people who are used to seeing you play Binding of Isaac, and then one day you log in and go, all right, time to play Fortnite. All right, time for a variety stream. You're gonna go from like 11 viewers to 0 viewers. And
Well, yeah.
yeah, that's the thing though. You're not building a like oh god, I don't know how to say this. You're not building a like successful community around a new game. You're trying to build a community around yourself. There are people that watch you specifically for the games that you play, and those people aren't going to show up if you're not playing the game they want. And there are people who are going to show up because they love Tony the Pinguino. They don't care what game you're going to play. That's the kind of audience that you want to be cultivating so that no matter what you're doing, you're going to get those people. It's just we're small enough you guys are small enough right now that you can't get those people as much. You have them, obviously. But like, yeah, so if you play different games often enough that you're always bringing in new people, so a lot of those people are going to fall off because they're there for the game. But over time, you're going to get this larger and larger net that you're throwing out that eventually you'll be able to have the people come in and go, oh shit, an Annadelna stream, rather than, oh shit, Anna is playing Binding of Isaac, that kind of thing. So I understand that you said it was the pessimism talking, but I 100% believe that if you were to transition from what you are right now, a roguelike streamer as you call yourself, and switch to either a variety streamer where you just play whatever you want to play, or a first-person shooter gamer, like you wouldn't see success for a while, obviously, because we're not, you guys, God. But
you can say
you would see it. Like, you have the personality, you have everything necessary to be successful in this entrepreneurial thing, because the only thing that differentiates someone who has 100,000 viewers and someone who has 10 viewers, for you guys, it is just luck. Like, you guys have the personality, you have the want to interact with your community, you have the ability to build it. It is just luck that you haven't been rated by a 10,000 viewer streamer, and boom, now your stream has 100 viewers every stream, which means it'll actually show up on the algorithm, which means you'll continue to grow even larger, and blah 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 blah. It's just,
and that lends into the point that I was making, that just streaming isn't enough. You're going into an aspect that I didn't even touch on, which is the luck factor of having other people support you. which is something that you can pray on, you can hope on, but that isn't something that is realistic for 99.9% of people. And so when I say that streaming isn't enough, it is more so that you need to diversify the content that you're making. Not in the sense of playing different games, but making your TikToks, making your YouTube shorts, creating YouTube videos. You have to delve into different aspects of content creation because streaming straight up just is not enough to create a community. It just isn't, because that is not a vast majority of people who watch other people's content. Like if you're watching a PewDiePie or a Markiplier or whatever, like those are bad examples because they're not primarily streamers, but a large majority of the people who watch bigger name content creators is the, oh, I'm taking a shit and I'm gonna scroll on YouTube Shorts and I see that the somebody that I watched content made a short. Okay, that keeps them in the bank of people that I wanna interact with, wanna watch. It isn't like, oh, they're streaming for 8 hours, let me watch the entire 8 hour stream. Because that, although that is something that happens, there are people who come into your streams and want to watch the whole thing. It just isn't enough to be able to rely on those kinds of people to succeed in the content field, I think. And I'm not trying to be woefully pessimistic, I just think it's a realistic take just because of how many people are doing more. You can be the most dedicated 8 hour a day streamer of all time, but if you're not diversifying your content field, you are not doing enough to maintain or to grow, let alone maintain a community. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything you just said. Um, that is, oh God, do you know My Hero Academia?
Oh God.
I do. A little
Um,
bit, but I do.
so the difference between like a lucky break where a good thing happens to you once and then it fades out versus changing your life is your ability to like capitalize on it. Like God, the main character of My Hero Academia, Deku Midoriya, if because at every point within his life he is a good person, the second that someone with the ability to turn him into a hero sees him is the moment that he's showing that he can be a hero. And that wouldn't happen if you weren't putting in the effort every day. Such as you said, if you're not putting out content on every single channel, if you're not doing everything that you can to do well, you won't be able to catch that one person who's gonna like raid you or mention you on their stream or something like that.
Right, but that's that. Like I said, that is more so like I don't want to be like the pessimistic guy. I don't want to be like, oh, like this is an unfruitful venture. But it's just what I'm saying. Like in terms of streaming, yes, I could stream the games that I want to, or not the games that I want to stream, but I could stream like the first person shooter stuff or like whatever. But at the end of the day, that is not the problem with like how my content is going. It's just like it isn't enough, and that's the greater point I'm trying to make. I know that's like we can be on agreement in that, but I feel like I'm looking to forego the luck aspect, and I know that's impossible, like nearly, but it's just something that I don't want to depend on. I don't want to be made by another creator saying, "Hey, check this guy out," just for them to hate to hold that over my head in a year. You know what I mean? It's like no, like I like the angle that I'm taking is much different, I feel like, than the traditional, which I feel is it should hopefully lend itself to success in the future, but it's not something that I think is realistic just knowing what I know with the time that I've been on streaming platforms, you know?
Absolutely. Streaming and YouTubing is, as with every solo entrepreneurship venture, determined by word of mouth. The thing is, with like if you open a donut shop and
Mhm.
there's 20 different like subsidized donut shops in the city, no one's going to go to yours because they can look at a brand name and see that. And like
Right.
Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts is never going to look at your shop and go, oh, hey, you should check them out. They're pretty cool as well. What you rely
Right.
on is like reviewers or good word of mouth from one friend to the next that, oh my God, their donuts are better than these people. What you
Right.
run into with this is with a donut shop, you exist in a limited capacity within a city where people who live within range of your donut shop are either going to decide they like it or they don't, and you have a clear line of success or failure because money exists. With streaming, there is no borders. Like your stream is one in infinity, and of course, word of mouth still exists. I just want to be clear here. I You don't feel like I'm telling you what to do, right? Like you don't think that
No,
this
of
is like
course
me
not.
telling.
No,
Okay, okay.
no,
So like,
because I understand like the whole content sphere. Like I get it. It's just an
yeah,
effort thing with me. I feel.
yeah, yeah. So like the things that can change the life of a donut owner is like a huge Yelp reviewer saying how good your donuts are, or you show up on the news about how good your donuts are. For a YouTuber, it's another YouTuber finding your content, or God, I hate that this is a thing. A TikToker making one of your clips really popular because they put funk music in the background when you killed something and they actually link back to your channel, and suddenly you got a surge of like 300 subscribers, and maybe 20 of those people will stick around and actually like watch your streams, and boom bam boom, you're growing. Um
Right.
it's all word of mouth because it's solo entrepreneurship, and we're in the game for it, so obviously we love it, right?
Oh, of course. Of course.
Absolutely. And so all you can do is wear your smile 100% of the time. So when people walk up to you, they'll go, "Oh wow, your teeth are so beautiful," instead of not smiling and they look at you and go, "Oh my God, they're so angry all the time." All right, that was a good conversation about content creation in general. Um, you also have to think about the time and money that it takes to try and get big online. Most people don't have the spare time or money to dedicate themselves to that, unfortunately.
Real tale.
Yes. Yeah, that too exists. So the oh God, thank you. I completely forgot about this. One of the bigger things that I'm trying to convince Anna to do is reach out to Monster Hunter Wild, like edited content creator people, to like
Uh-huh.
get them to stream with her, and then the people who make the edited content will put the edited streams in their channel so that they're both getting something from it, but then the
Right.
communities can like merge and grow. You know what collabs are, of course you do.
Yeah.
You collab
Yeah.
hugely.
Collaboration, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, I get you, bro.
It's just like the word of mouth is now, instead of one person's channel, it's now three people's channel all talking about each other, blah 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 blah. So yeah,
Right.
I think you guys, as I said, you guys have everything you need for success. I fully believe everything is going to go well. And also, I believe realism is a thing, and we have to dedicate resources to things that aren't streaming, because otherwise we'll burn out and, die.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that is how Tony reached out to me to do Isaac races, and that's how I met Phantom as well.
Real.
So I'm very thankful for Tony. I'm just bad at reaching out to people because every time I've reached out, I get like, "Oh hey, I'm doing this in Isaac. If you're interested, let me know." And then they like switch to a different game, and they're like, "Hey, by the way, look at this message this person just sent me. Isn't that fucking hilarious?" And like they
That's
just
so
start
strange.
mocking me. Or
Yeah,
people be
that's
like, "Oh
strange.
yeah, that sounds cool," and then I just never hear from them again.
Yeah, I think the way that I took the collaboration route is trying to build a rapport in a person's stream before asking. And I'm not saying that's not what you do, but it's just something that's a lot more realistic. Like I didn't come immediately to your channel and go, "Hey, let's collab Isaac." I watched a couple of streams. I was like, "Hey, I like your stuff. Would you be interested in doing this?" Blah blah blah. Right?
Yeah, I didn't know that you
And
were
it's
in my
like
streams.
I watched a couple of them.
Okay.
I mostly try to gauge who I want to collab with just based off of vibes. Because if you're
Mhm.
giving off shit vibes, I don't really want to hang out. You know what I mean? Like I don't really want to have anything to do with people who just have shit vibes. But it's
Absolutely.
just something that you gotta like, find the right people for. And unfortunately, a lot of the people on here aren't the right people, and that sucks. But you'll
Surprisingly,
occasionally find, yeah, you'll occasionally find people who are worth collaborating with. The Annadelnas, the Phantoms, the Sacred Sharts
Hmm.
of the world. Yeah.
surprisingly, on an industry that feeds on people who love to be the center of attention, sometimes those people aren't good people. Who knew?
Oh, for sure. No, yeah, no, we know all too well, unfortunately, how that how that works.
Unfortunately. Anyway, all right, we're about 45 minutes into this, which means it's time to start doing the outro. Tony, when is your next
Okay.
stream? Give us the exact date and time so we can be there.
Next stream. That's a tough one to pin down just because of the schedule. Probably tomorrow, maybe. There's a
Oh,
Oh.
chance. maybe tomorrow, just because of vibes.
So-
But I have to take
You're
Maddie
joining
to
for
work.
Fortnite? I'm glad to hear it.
So to
Fuck no.
the day that this video is coming out, you will be like streaming that day. Okay.
Perchance.
Perchance. Oops.
There's always a 50-50 enabled, which is
Hamster.
usually a no, but we'll see.
What's the name of your channel, if in case people can't read?
Tony the Penguino on like most things. So YouTube, Twitch, Discord, I guess, if you want to get in the vibe zone. But yeah, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes. Tony the Penguino on YouTube, Twitch, and the Vibe Zone on Discord. All great places to be.
I'd say.
And
so.
also Annadelna's Brain Rot Haven.
That's also a thing.
Annadelna's Brain Rot Haven is a cool thing too.
Mm-hmm.
These are good places.
All
right. Any questions you want to ask us before we start doing outro?
Okay, I'll ask you a question right now. What is the goal of the Annadelna channel? What is the end game here? And I know it's kind of a pretty straightforward question in the terms of most content creators just want to get big and create their content. But like, what is your personal goal? Because you've been at it for about a year now, no?
Yeah, I'll be 1 year on like April 6th, and I'll be doing a 24-hour stream that day as well.
Nice.
My goal is to just do collabs, meet a lot of cool and interesting people, and, you know, try and make a bit of money off of this, because, you know, this is a hobby, but being disabled in the way that I am, I also kind of treat this like a job. I can't really do like I used to when I first started, where I was like editing every single video, trying to put out 2 videos a day. That's just too much. But I really enjoy streaming. I feel like that's a really good way to meet and engage with people, and especially doing collabs, you get to kind of see both communities or multiple communities at the same time, and it's just a nice way to spread your channel and, you know, find new people.
Right, for sure.
So,
What about you, Creature Man? What is your goal with your wife's channel?
My wife loves streaming. The problem is she doesn't like Twitch or any of the other actual streaming platforms. And the problem is I'm old-fashioned, so I won't let it go. YouTube is a video platform. They thrive on actual videos being made, not just streamed, because as I said before, if you want to find a YouTube stream, you either have to be deep into the live section of YouTube, or you have to be actively looking at it. For my YouTube channel, because I don't watch lives outside of like these, I am never recommended a live.
Okay, so to your point, I found Anna just on the homepage because I watched Binding of Isaac content. So that is one of those things where I feel you, but I disagree. I feel like YouTube is a much friendlier it's a much friendlier viewer finding platform than Twitch is, just because of how prone Twitch is to hiding small creators. You go onto any game or any section in Twitch, and the first 300 channels are going to be 50+ viewer channels on any game. And so the odds of you being found on Twitch, like, you're not getting homepaged, you're not getting recommended. They have a small creator section, and even the small creators are still double, triple, quadruple what me and Anna will pull on the stream. So we're still not getting the proper recognition on that type of stream site. Whereas YouTube, like, yeah, you can be recommended just as long as your tags fit what people like. And with YouTube, I found more people on YouTube tend to actually browse than on Twitch. On Twitch, you go on because your favorite creator started streaming. It isn't one of those things where, oh, I'm gonna get on Twitch and look around and browse. Like, genuinely, do you do that? Because I don't.
No,
I'll hop on Twitch. Yeah, so if you yourself can admit, like, hey, I'm not gonna go browse Twitch, then I can understand why streaming on Twitch is such a yucky prospect. Whereas in YouTube, you just have the Binding of Isaac Huh?
I'm not a live stream person. I love my 10-hour long edited video.
I made this point before, and I'm so glad that you agree with me. Of YouTube will actually try and like recommend your videos, whether it's like you watch a video and it's like, hey, you might also enjoy this. And
Yeah,
Twitch is
because,
just like, hey, look at this big streamer. They have, let me see, 25,000 people watching. And then you look at the homepage and it's like, look at all these big streamers, big, and they're all focused on just making the big streamers even bigger, whereas all the small creators are just down there like, hey, can I have a crumb? Like,
Well,
after
that's-
using... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the reason that is like that is because Twitch is actively disinterested in small creators. Small creators cost Twitch money, whereas the big creators pull in at least enough to stay even. Like it's a known secret that Twitch is like fucking dumping money every single quarter, every single year because of small creators who want to make it on Twitch, streaming 8 hours a day, pulling one viewer, costing them server space. Like everybody knows this. So they are never gonna properly market small streamers, and that's just the way it's gonna be. Probably forever, because that I don't see Twitch ever flipping a profit. They never have since they've been acquired by Amazon. So it's just one of those things where YouTube does make more sense because it at least is profitable.
Yeah, because I've been using Restream to stream to both, and looking at it, and I've streamed 8 days in like a 1 month period. I've gotten 3 followers, which is just people going like, oh shit, you're on Twitch too? And they give me a follow. I'm at 52, you need 50. I'm way over the hours a month, and the only thing holding me back is the concurrent viewers.
Yes,
I average 0.8 viewers a stream.
On Twitch, yep.
On
it's
Twitch.
So much harder.
YouTube,
it's so much harder.
YouTube sometimes I'll peak up to like 10. I've seen 20. I think when the co-op update came out, I had like 50. But usually I'll sit steady around like between 8 and 15.
Right.
And even people are just lurking. I can still see that. Some people will chat.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love that. I do way better on YouTube than I do Twitch. I have not seen any growth on it. And that's
predominantly because you make more content on YouTube. You've started earlier, but yeah, I get you. I completely understand that.
Tony is layered over it. Spoofy on Smart Fridge has followed. That's someone that is already watching my content. I don't have to use my YouTube alt to chat. This is so peak. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's essentially what I'm saying. Twitch does not want to help the small streamers get bigger, and that is my big problem with it. And using Restream lowers the quality of my streams.
From 1080 to 720.
Yes!
It's rancid, bro.
It's rancid. It does not.
Rancid.
You can count the pixels.
You cannot count the pixels.
You're just wrong, baby.
As somebody, as somebody who has a modern phone, a modern computer, a modern laptop, anything on 720 looks like shit because my shit all runs at 4K. Yeah. And so I can see everything. It is not good. No, it's not gross. It is just the modern technology is so good that using obsolete Wii era fucking processing power isn't enough to be like, oh, this is a good stream quality. It's not. I played the fucking GameCube at 720 20 years ago.
Love of my life. It's like, okay to be wrong.
Nope.
It is.
I'm letting you know. You have 2 people so far telling you the exact same thing.
I don't respect vertical streamers.
I tried
vertical streamers are yucky too.
I tried doing vertical streaming. You get a bunch of people pop in and then they're all gone. And it's a bunch of like doom scrollers and children saying just the most weird random shit.
Right, yeah. I can respect like Sacred for doing the vertical stuff, but dude, like
Sacred's been doing the horizontal streams lately.
Has he? I thought he was still a short streamer.
No, they've been doing the horizontal.
Oh, W.
Yeah.
Good.
Good although I pop into their streams and I usually have it on in the background and I look at viewers. Sometimes they'll pop up to like 100, 120 on the vertical. Yeah. With the horizontal, it's not that many viewers, but
yeah. It's just a symptom of what you were talking about.
Yeah, but what I noticed with it is that on vertical, you have people that are just doom scrolling. They'll pop in and they'll keep that number of saying that they are in there for a little while. But on horizontal, people will join there and they'll just stay. And
the retention is like a billion times.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's yeah. Anyways, that's all I have to say on the matter. Anything else you would like to say, Tony the Penguino?
No, not much else. I mean, I'm content with the conversations we had today. We had a good talk.
We've kind of merged our communities at this point.
Yeah. a
That
little
guy
bit.
is in like every one of my streams. Spoofy pops in, John, all of them. But for anyone that doesn't, go check out Tony the Penguino, youtube.com/Tony the Penguino. I'm sure you can find his Twitch somewhere. And
I
join
get a
his
lot
Discord.
of phantom viewers.
Mhm.
That I do get a lot of phantom viewers, and I appreciate it. It's just funny because
I
like
get a
I play
couple
with
of
phantom
phantom
like
viewers.
once every other month.
Yeah. Preacher, anything you would like to say?
That was a good question, Tony. What are my goals with the Annadelna channel that I got cut off and abused for like 20 minutes? But I can answer the question now.
Yeah, you can answer.
So Anna likes the streaming aspects of this whole thing, and we
Right.
got past that. I, as I said, enjoy the video making stuff, and as you said, you're not a big fan of the scripting or the editing.
Right.
Anna isn't either.
Mhm.
So I do my
Mhm.
best to make like frameworks of content that won't require editing, and I'll write out like the scripts that we're doing.
Right.
Like we
Oh,
have
for sure.
anytime there's a series that we do, generally I'm the one in the background making sure that like the script that we have and the time frame of stuff is like going to be quote unquote correct. So
Right.
I quote unquote help with that aspect of it, and she does all of the actual base content.
Mhm.
Yeah, streamer stuff.
Yeah.
So speaking of scripted content, a thing that I'm looking into is doing some video essay content, just because like I have a lot of downtime at my work, and I'm like, dude, you know what? I should just like my best to put my best foot forward into the content sphere. I know I'm like on and off about it, but it's just something where I'm like, hey, if I'm gonna do it, I should do it. It goes back to what I was talking about in the beginning with having your asshole tattooed to look like me. It's like if you're gonna commit to something, commit to it. So
Yeah.
I'm inching more and more towards that aspect of like, hey, I've been doing this for 5 years. The community's great. Love the people who watch me, but it's not something where I'm like, this is the end game. I feel like there's more I could be doing. So if that is something that interests people, I'm looking for topics right now because I am trying to diversify type shit.
Yeah, I'd be down to help if you need someone for that as well.
Yeah, I'm just looking for topics right now so I can do some
Mhm.
research, write a script and everything. I think right now the current one that I'm doing, it's for Maddie. It's the history of all the Hello Kitty games. Yeah,
I
fuck
need
it.
to know when that video comes out.
It's gonna be weeks, if not months. But
Well, make sure that you include the Hello Kitty Roblox game.
oh, geez. All right, yeah. I'll add one. I'll add one Hello Kitty Roblox game
Okay,
randomly.
I love research and I love making lists. Like, if you want to see the amount of effort and time I put into researching stuff, I can send you the documents I have because we did the book club stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So while we were reading Kagurabashi, I wrote down lists of every single important event so that we wouldn't miss any of it when we were talking about it. We're doing the interview with a Dom Pierce series, which I need you to record that for.
Yes.
I can send you the documents I have written up because like we make it a slideshow, and I have to have enough information that if Anna has a question about anything that we're talking about, I'll be able to answer it. Otherwise, she gets a point. So I have full documents going over like 3 times the amount of stuff that's in the thing. So if you need someone to research and write stuff down,
I'll let you know. I mean, like I said, it's something I'm going to be doing mostly while I'm at work. But I can hit you up in the DMs. I'll have my Discord open on my laptop, so if anything, we can maybe work on something together. That'd be cool.
absolutely.
All right, sweet.
All right. Well then, before we hit the hour mark,
Bye. Remember to like,
Goodbye.
comment, and subscribe. We definitely didn't forget to say that at the beginning, like we do in every
Yes.
video we do. Oh, Tony,
Like,
did you watch the
comment.
Gaycation video?
oh god,
What?
You didn't watch our Gaycation video?
Wait, I don't. I'm so
Fucking
lost. What are you talking
Christ.
about?
Wait, do you
Oh.
know what the Gaycation is?
No.
Tony, please watch our gaycation video. Please.
Alright, and you guys should all
Oh.
watch the gaycation video too. I'm ending the recording here.